Hi, Rosario. Good evening.
Hi, Miss. Good evening.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Today was a productive day, so I feel good.
That's great. That's great to know. So, okay, give me a second, please. This person is loading.
Okay.
So, I hope it works now. Yes, it is. It is working. So, okay, so we're going to start with today's lesson. And, okay. So your course is okay. So we stopped and we already did my goodness. What was the last lesson we've seen? Sorry.
Okay, give me a second.
Yes, it was.
It was past continuous.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we finished the B2, so I'm going to assign you the homework, right?
Okay.
Because we finished. So, okay, give me a second. Right, so there you have it. So today we are on 12. And the resources. Okay, so we're on 12. You're going to have until Sunday, right?
Okay, perfect. But I have some problems because my account is already locked. So the coordinator told me that it probably give me another account. So I'm not sure.
She didn't give you the new account yet?
Yeah, she gave me, but I wasn't trying yet. So
So you have a new account?
Yeah, I have a new account, but I'm not sure the coordinator send you the new account?
No, those accounts, students' accounts are personal, right? So I don't know your username, but please try to join as soon as possible because I need to assign you the homework, right? So as soon as you join, you already have the code of the class in the PDF. So then as soon as it is done, you're going to let me know and then I'm going to send you the homework thing, okay?
Okay, perfect, Miss. Thank you.
Okay, but let me know as soon as possible, right? Because we don't want to lose time. So, okay, right, we're going to start with today's classes. It's not difficult. We have a new model, and it is about models of preference. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Once you can see it, please let me know.
Okay, I see.
That's great. Okay, so today's lesson is about models of preference. We have prefer and would rather. So let's listen to the audio first.
Hello, how are you today? Do you like studying grammar or would you rather be working on your listening skills? Don't worry, I understand. Different people prefer different things. And today, we're going to talk about modals of preference.
Okay, that's great. So we have would rather and prefer are most useful when we want to express a preference, okay? Sometimes we prefer things, okay, and another ones, and for that we have a specific, we have a structure to express sometimes what we want. So in this case, we have the first model. And well, prefer is a verb, okay? I prefer prefer is a verb, okay? But you can also, you can use the verb by itself. I prefer, I don't know, I prefer
ice cream than cookies.
Okay, that's cool, thank you. So, or you can also say, I would prefer, okay, ice cream than cookies, for example. Okay, so as you can see, you have two ways to express. So, could you please, we're not going to listen to the whole audio, but could you please read the conversation?
Okay. Would you like to have a seat? No, I prefer to stand.
Okay, thank you. So now we're going to see, would you like to have a seat? Okay, would you like to have a seat? No, I prefer to stand. Okay, again, it is about the preference that I have. In this case, that's all it has. A formal way to ask something is that would you like to have a seat? Okay, that's the formal way to ask somebody. Maybe it is common in order to sound more polite than that, right? So would you like to have a seat? Or would you prefer to stand up or to have a seat, for example? Okay, so it's incredible how many ways you can construct your ideas, right? As soon as it makes sense, right? So that's the only thing that you have to take care at the moment that you want to express something, for example. And then we have the second one. Could you please read it?
Okay. Prefer and would prefer can be followed by a noun. Would you like a cup of tea? Thanks, but I prefer coffee.
Okay, thank you. So in this case, we can find the structure, okay? We're not using a verb. Why? Because prefer is also a verb, right? En realidad, la palabra prefer es un verbo, no es tanto un modal, ¿ok? Tenemos el caso de would, que se puede utilizar con el verbo, ¿ok? So, as it is a verb, we can use with a noun. I prefer coffee, I prefer ice cream, I prefer cookies, I prefer dance, I prefer not eating, I prefer, oh, that was a curious example, we're going to see it right now. I prefer Coke. I prefer Coke. So then we can also use it with whatever noun you want. Would you like a cup of tea? Thanks, but I prefer coffee. Okay, so coffee is a noun. So you can also use prefer and would prefer. I would prefer coffee, or I prefer coffee, both in both ways. As soon as you construct the sentence with a noun. And then we have the third point. Could you please read it?
Okay. Prefer and would prefer can also be followed by the gerund. Remember, the gerund is formed by the verb plus ing. Talia doesn't have time to shop at stores. She prefers shopping online.
Okay, thank you. That was great. All right, so in this case, we have the ing form. A minute ago, I said, I prefer not eating, right? Okay. I'm going to explain you it then, because first of all, we need to see the gerunds. When we are going to use prefer, it is followed by the gerund, okay? I prefer eating, I prefer shopping, I prefer dancing, I prefer watching, I prefer ing, gerunds. There is no way to say I prefer to eat, right? Oh, no, sorry. Yes, we can do it. We can do it, right? Prefer goes to the gerund, is followed with the gerunds and with infinitives. I prefer to eat, okay? I prefer to eat, I prefer to send, I prefer to watch, okay? Prefer es uno de los verbos que pueden ir conjugados con ing o con infinitivo. Es parte de la columna, okay? Entonces, so I was almost to get confused. For example, if you have the negative, right? You have the option to say, I wouldn't prefer eating, or I wouldn't prefer going shopping right now. Okay. Or I wouldn't prefer to go shopping right now. Okay. So as you can see, there are many ways to conjugate it, right? Or if you don't want to use the modal would, you can omit it. I prefer not shopping, not eating today salad because today it's my free day of eating cheat meal, for example, right? So as you can see, there are many ways to construct this amazing verb prefer. Es uno de los verbos que se pueden conjugar de muchas maneras. The only point is that it needs to make sense. If it is, yes, you can do it. And I prefer, could you please read the last point?
Okay, prefer and would prefer can also be followed by the infinitive to plus the base form of the verb. She prefers to shop online.
Great, thank you. She prefers to shop online. Okay, as I told you, prefer is one of the verbs that follow it. It's followed by the gerund or by the infinitive, and both are okay. Okay, so you don't have to take care to match in the construction, right? And you don't have to think if it goes with the gerund or with the infinitive because it's the same, right? So that's a good part. So is there any question until this part maybe?
Okay, prefer is a verb that can be followed by ing and the infinitive, right? So if I say something negative about prefer, is she prefer not, but it's correct to say she preferred not shopping.
She prefers not shopping, right?
Yeah, it's correct.
Okay. Yes, it's correct. Right, it's correct. It's an informal way. Es una manera informal, pero se puede. Right? En caso de que no utilicemos, claro, si es que vamos a decidir utilizar would prefer, right? Tendríamos que agregar la negación al modal. I wouldn't prefer, right? Sin embargo, se puede utilizar directamente. I prefer not eating chocolate today, for example. It's informal, right? But yes, you can do it. So there is no problem on it. Do you get it?
Yeah, I get it. I think the problem that was that not sounds really good. It's better, or it's better use would prefer. In the case of negative, I don't know, prefer not, it's not sounds good.
Yes, it doesn't, well, I'm not sure, right? From my point of view, because I heard in movies and yes, I had some professors saying that they used to use this form, even though it was very formal, right? They always used to explain this part, that it was informal, but it is not bad. Okay, the structure is good though. So I know maybe it sounds weird, right? But it is okay. Grammarly, it is very good. It is very good structured. So if you maybe prefer not to use this form, this negative form, you can use would, right? So you can say, I wouldn't prefer. Okay, it's formal. It is okay though. So I leave it in your hands, right? So it's up to you. It's completely up to you, but both ways are okay. Do you get it?
Yeah, the only difference about would rather and would prefer, sorry, and preferred, it's only the formality, so there isn't something more strong.
No, there is not. Don't worry about that. There is no other difference. Okay. That could be the formality, but it's not a big formality. Like you are going to sound as the president, for example, when he's talking. No. No hay gran diferencia en cuanto a la formalidad. Si bien es un poquito más formal, también se suele utilizar. No es tan formal como utilizar would rather, for example. Would rather is the most formal, right? So in informal speech, then you can use would rather. So let's talk just right now about would rather. So let's listen to the audio.
Okay.
You can also make suggestions with would rather plus the base form of the verb.
I'd rather pay her a visit.
The negative form for would rather is would rather not.
I'd rather not sit down.
We often use I'd rather not as a short answer. Maybe you should ask John for help with this story.
I'd rather not. I want to cover this story by myself. Oh my goodness. So I wouldn't prefer to tell. I wouldn't prefer to tell. I'm sorry. I prefer telling. I'm sorry. I prefer not telling. I prefer. I would prefer telling. I would prefer to tell my story. I prefer telling. Do we have? Oh yes, we already have. Okay, so I guess that's all. I think I missed one, right? But let's take a view. The first one, right? It's very used, okay, again in informal one, but you can also use, or if you prefer, you can use the modal would, right? I prefer not to tell my story. Does it sound weird for you?
I prefer not to tell my story. Yeah, it's not. Sounds really weird. It sounds better.
How about this one? I prefer not telling my story.
Yeah, this sounds more weird.
Okay, could be because of the construction, right? Puede ser tal vez por la construcción, sin embargo, todos estos están bien. Here we have the past form. If we don't have any modal, we need to use the negative. En este caso no tenemos ningún modal, pero sí tenemos que poner una negación, ¿ok? Entonces puedo escribir directamente la negación, porque no hay manera de... Oh, también se puede decir I don't prefer, for example. Okay, you can also use it with the auxiliary verb to, right? So, en pocas palabras, como es un verbo, se puede conjugar de cualquier manera. Especially if we say or if we talk in ing form. But if you just want to avoid the auxiliary verb to observe don't, right? In this case, you can say, I prefer not to tell my story, or I prefer not telling my story. Why? Because prefer works with the infinitive and with the gerund. That's a rule. Even if it sounds weird, it sounds from another planet, and then it is okay. It is well structured. As you can see, not everything is based on how it sounds, okay? En este caso nos damos cuenta que si bien a veces nos guiamos por cómo suena algo, no siempre tiene que ser que porque suena extraño no exista, tal vez. ¿Okay?
No.
Entonces, claro que sí es cierto que mayormente sí es lo que sucede, pero no siempre hay excepciones. So then we have another use, and it is would rather, right? So the structure is the same, right? We're going to use the subject, okay, subject, the modal would, the rather, plus the verb in its base form, okay? I'd rather pay her a visit, right? The negative, this is very important to know, it's not wouldn't, right? No existe tal palabra wouldn't rather. Es incorrecto. Es un error gramatical demasiado gigante. La negación va de tal manera como acá, ¿ok? Es decir, por más de que tengamos algún modal, si es que vamos a utilizar esta negación, preferimos y debemos poner la negación al final de rather, ¿ok? Rather is more formal, right? It is the most formal. So you only have to follow the structure, right? I'd
Yeah.
rather, or you can also use the contraction though. And what else? Is there any question until this part?
Yeah, about wouldn't rather not, or I would rather not, it's okay. But I have some doubt about the meaning of the difference meaning about I prefer not to tell my story and I prefer not telling my story, for example. What is the difference about the meaning?
Which one, sorry? This
The
one?
first, no, the first that you wrote, yeah, the 1st I
Mhm.
prefer not to tell my story, and the third in negative, I prefer not telling my story. The third,
Okay. What is the difference you mean? Oh, sorry,
yeah.
this one.
No, it's correct. It's the
It's
first.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I prefer not to tell my story. I prefer not telling my story.
Yeah.
Okay, the first difference is the structure for sure. In meaning, there is no difference. Okay?
Oh, there is no difference?
No, there is no difference, right? No hay diferencia. En ninguno de estos hay diferencia. En los tres estoy, claro, la negación, por supuesto. Tenemos afirmaciones y negaciones. Sin embargo, más allá de la estructura, no hay diferencia en significado. ¿Ok? I prefer not to tell my story. Prefiero no decir mi historia, no contar mi historia. Prefiero no contar mi historia también. No hay diferencia alguna. Recordemos que el gerundio no es más que el ing para evitar el choque de verbos. ¿Ok?
Yeah.
Esa es
This
la
part
única.
it's more for use the gerund as an object, right? Or as a noun?
Yes, could be though. I prefer not telling my story. Right? Could be, right? So the only difference is that, right? The structure. One is infinitive and the other one is gerund. In contrast, right? In general, I mean, all these exercises, all these examples, have the same meaning. Of course, the negative with the negative and the affirmative with the affirmatives, right? But there is no difference in meaning. For that reason, we saw in point number 1 that we can use with the gerund and with the infinitive. Even if the structure doesn't look or doesn't sound great at all, right? It doesn't mean that it's incorrect, okay? Why did I write those examples? Because I wanted to show you in what ways can we form the verb prefer, okay, in the modal would prefer. So that was the only purpose. Although there is no difference in meaning. So in this case, I prefer not to tell my story. I prefer not telling my story. It's not the continuous form, okay, take care. No es la forma continua, el ing, a no ser que tenga el verbo to be, pero como no hay diferencia, no tendría por qué haber diferencia. All right?
Okay, perfect, Miss. Thank you.
All right, don't worry. So what else can we say? Okay, so in this case, right, we have again the negative, right? We don't use the negative in the model, right? So what else? Okay, so we only have to take care. We only have to keep in mind that would rather is the affirmative, would rather not is a negative one. So from that we can conjugate it. For example, I'd rather not to sit down, right? I'm not saying I wouldn't rather. I wouldn't rather, it's incorrect to sit down and sit down. So, and then we can also use would rather as a short answer. For example, maybe you should ask John for help with this story, right? That's a preference that the person could have. But she says, no, I don't prefer, I don't want it. Okay, so in a formal way, she could say, I would rather not, I'd rather not. I want to cover this story by myself. So Talia has a preference, okay? So it is in a formal context, so that's the reason of why she's using would rather not, okay? Or she could say, yes, I would rather, right? I would rather working. Oh, ask
working
for
with
help.
John. Yeah.
Yes, could be. I would rather ask John for help.
Okay.
Algo que es importante es que no podemos mezclar el would rather con el prefer, right? So if I'm using would rather, that's only would rather, right? Would rather prefer, it's important, right? Because would rather means like a preference. Okay, so it could sound as a redundant information. So for that reason, we are going to avoid the use of these two preference, two expressions of preference in one sentence. Okay, so I would rather prefer, that's incorrect. Okay?
Okay, perfect, Miss.
That's cool. Do you have any question?
Not yet.
All right, that's cool. So then we're going to continue. Oh, okay. So let's listen to the audio.
We use would to form questions with prefer and rather.
Would you prefer to sit down? Would you rather sit down?
But we can also use a form of do to form questions with prefer.
Do you prefer to stand?
Okay, what can we see in this last point? Would you prefer to sit down? Would you rather sit down? Okay. So yes, notice this. Rather is like a preference, okay? And we can say that it's a synonym, okay? So you can say, would you prefer or would you rather sit down? And then when we use rather, we use the base form of the verb, not the infinitive, okay? Would you prefer to sit down? Okay, yes, prefer works with the infinitive again and with the gerund. Okay. In the other hand, we have rather, right? Rather only works, okay, with the base form of the verb. It's incorrect if I'm going to say rather to sit, for example, okay? And don't use prefer and rather in only one sentence. Would you rather prefer? No. Would you prefer rather? No. Would rather you prefer? No, doesn't exist. Okay?
Okay.
So yes, that will be right. And you know, when we want to form a question, okay, when we want to form a question, we're going to use it. Well, you have one way with the modal, and you have the other way with the auxiliary verb do and does, right? Do you prefer to send, right? Of course, you can also use it in the past. Did you prefer to stay with your friend or with your boyfriend, for example? Okay, so you can also use in past and tense. Okay, so why can we do that? Because this is a verb, and verbs can be placed, can be conjugated in whatever tense we want. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So, is there any question to this part?
No, Miss, it's okay.
Okay, so so that will be everything about the lesson. I told you it was a short lesson. So we're going to continue with the practice. And give me a second, please. Where is it? Okay. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Once you can see, please let me know.
Okay, I see.
Okay, that's cool. Could you please read the instruction?
Okay, read each dialogue and choose the correct answer.
Okay, so let's do it.
Would you like a cup of coffee? Thanks, but I would prefer tea if you have some.
Could you repeat, please?
Thanks, but I would prefer tea if you have some.
I would. Oh, sorry. What do you say? Did you say would rather?
No, would prefer.
Prefer. Okay, thank you. How about the second one?
How about some cake? Thanks, but I would rather not. I'm going to have dinner very soon.
Okay.
The next. Would you rather be a reporter or a researcher? A reporter, it's more exciting. Does Eric go to the movies a lot? No. He prefers renting videos. He prefers renting videos. Yeah, could be. Does Eric go to movies a lot? No, he prefers renting videos. Yeah. What kind of movies does he like? Comedies? No, actually, he prefers serious movies.
Okay, thank you.
Let's go get some pizza. I would prefer to get a hamburger. I had pizza last night. Rather, it's only for base form. I would prefer, yeah.
Prefer.
Does your,
How about number 7?
okay. Does your sister ever watch soccer? No. She would rather watch basketball.
She'd rather watch
Yeah.
baseball. Okay.
What about you? Are you prefer by baseball too? Do you prefer?
Okay. I heard you prefer, and I was like, what?
Me? No, I'm a big soccer fan.
Okay, thank you. Let's submit. Unless you want to modify something.
No, but I have some doubt. I'm not taking really care about the structure, but the structure about I prefer, and I would prefer is the same, right?
Which one? Sorry, could you repeat?
Yeah, all the model of preference have the same structure, right? The only thing that you have to take care is in would you rather that you have to follow with based on the verb, but then it's the same, right?
Yes, it is the same. The only thing that changes is the structure.
Okay, perfect.
Right. So yes, that will be. So you don't have to forget the structure. That's very important, right? That's very important because it's true that we have many ways to conjugate the verb, right? With modals, without modals, right? Gerund infinitive as you prefer, as your preference, right? It is a fact that you also have to take care of the structure, right? So yes, it is a contrast, I guess.
Okay.
So yes, thank you. So we're going to continue, right, with this part. And okay, let's see. Could you please read the instruction?
Okay. Grammar models of preference 2. Complete each dialogue. Type the correct form of the verb from the box into the correct blank. Okay. Would you like to try it on those running shoes? No, I would rather. Go here, meet, pay, stay, try on, watch, work. Would you like to try on those running shoes? What is the meaning of try on?
Of what, sorry?
Try on.
Try on. I want to buy some shoes, right?
Yeah.
So first of all, before I buy it, I mean, I need to see if it's on my size, on my correct size. So I'm going to try on.
Okay,
Do you get
perfect.
it?
Yeah, I get it. Okay.
Okay.
Well, would you like to try on those running shoes? No, I would rather try on a pair of the white ones.
Try on a pair of the white ones. Okay, thank you. Oh, sorry.
Why don't you come to my office at around 11? I would rather meet later, if that's okay with you.
I would, sorry?
I would prefer to meet later, if that's okay with you. Are you going to call Frank? I think I would rather. Are you going to home? I would rather go him a visit.
I would rather go.
Yeah. Go him a
Okay.
visit. Would you like to go out tonight? No, actually, I prefer to stay at home. Oh, stay home? No, it's to stay.
To stay?
But if I use to stay, it's sounds more to stay at home. But we don't have to add at, right?
Yes, could be.
Okay, I prefer staying home. Yeah,
I
probably could be
prefer.
staying home.
Okay. Staying?
Yeah. But if we use to stay, we have to follow with at, I think.
With at?
Yeah, I would prefer
Oh,
to
no.
stay at
It
home.
doesn't modify. I prefer saying home, it's okay. I prefer saying at home, it's okay. Right? In this case, the word at, right? It is an article, okay, of place to be,
Yeah.
right? It's irrelevant, right? It's not relevant, so then you can omit it or just you can leave it out. There is no difference in meaning, so it doesn't modify, right? It doesn't modify the verb, doesn't modify the noun.
But
Okay.
grammatically, it's not a rule to put the article place.
No. It's not a rule. It's not a rule. No es una regla en realidad. En este caso, se puede dejar la preposición, no es artículo, es preposición.
Okay.
La preposición se la puede dejar afuera. No hay ningún problema. Staying at home and stay home. Both are correct. ¿Ok? Ambos están bien. No hay ningún problema. Porque ¿dónde más podría especificar? Just stay home. Yes, you can also use it, right? You remember that the verb prefer we can use it with the gerund or the infinitive.
Okay, perfect. Well, next. Should I turn on the news at 6? I turn on the news at 6. I would prefer to watch Newsline. If you don't mind, I think they have better reporters. The boss wants some of us to come in on Saturday to finish the reports. I don't mind staying late, but I would rather not stay on the weekend. Oh my God. To finish the report. To work. I would rather not to work on the weekend.
Okay, give me a second. I'm going to modify this and okay.
Do you want to eat at home or would you rather Um, try on watch work meet pay. Probably is go to a restaurant. Yeah. Would you rather go to a restaurant? And the other go, it's bad. Yeah, we have to raise and
Okay.
continue with the other, with the 8. Okay.
Okay.
Do you want to hear my story? I would prefer hear the truth.
Here, the truth. The truth. The truth.
Here, no. If it's prefer, you have to put the 2 here or
Okay.
hearing, right? I prefer
Okay.
hearing. Hearing is good.
I prefer hearing. Yes, it is okay. Remember, you can use with infinitive or with the gerund. There is no difference.
Yeah, but there is some verbs that don't accept the infinitive or
Yes, the verb
yeah.
here is prefer. Okay, el verbo aquí es preferir. Este verbo ingresa a la columna, es decir, que cualquier verbo que tú vayas a utilizar después de prefer, voy a utilizar prefer. Ok, entonces prefer es uno de los verbos con los cuales se puede utilizar en 2 formas, con el gerundio o con el infinitivo. Ok, ahora, te estás confundiendo tal vez con el verbo que va después. Ok,
Yeah.
entonces, no importa. Tan pronto como utilices el verbo prefer, puedes utilizar cualquier verbo. Y eso creo que es una confusión que siempre veo, es que los estudiantes a veces piensan que lo que tienen que tomar en cuenta es esto. No, no es este el problema es esto. Ok, el enfoque es esto. ¿Por qué? Porque yo voy a decidir que el siguiente verbo va a ir en infinitivo, perdón, en gerundio o en infinitivo, ¿ok?
Yeah, but I remember that there is some verbs that don't accept to change to infinitive or ing, but I
yes,
don't remember example. So that was the way for my question. If here it accept really the ing form. Yeah, but it's accept, right?
Yes, it does, right? I'm not sure. I hear, how can you conjugate this verb with a, I hear to, no. I heard, no, I hear, watching, no, I hear, how can you conjugate this verb here?
In ing form or in infinitive?
In whatever verb.
I'm tired to hear you.
Estoy tratando en pensar algún verbo que sea here y que se pueda construir el otro verbo, es decir, 2 verbos en uno, como es prefer and watch, for example, I prefer to watch. Here,
I'm tired to hear you.
Okay, in this case, I'm tired to hear you. Tired is the
main verb.
Yes, I'm tired. Yes, in that case, I'm tired hearing you. I'm tired to hear you too, because it's a purpose.
Yeah.
I guess that the verb here is not on the list, right? But
yeah,
it works with the
I'm
gerund.
not sure.
Yes, it works with the gerund, right? It works with the gerund. But in this case, right, why are we only taking the verb prefer, but because it is considered as a modal, right? ¿Por qué escogemos el verbo preferir? Porque es considerado un modal, ¿ok? Bueno, en realidad su nombre es verbos modales, right? Modal verbs, right? So, yes, that could be. But the verb here, right, works with the ing form. So then you have to try to conjugate it, but with the ing form. Okay?
Okay, perfect.
And again, just as a background, it doesn't matter what verb goes in. What is the second verb, right? My preference, right? Not my preference, I mean my focus, my attention goes to this verb, okay? This principal verb. En realidad tenemos estas lecciones del infinitivo y del gerundio. Parecen no interesar, parecen no tener relevancia. Sin embargo, cuando tenemos verbos, por ejemplo, enjoy, y quiero utilizar otro verbo, ¿qué es lo que pasa? Existe un choque de vocales. Y sí o sí, siempre vamos a querer utilizar dos verbos en una oración, inconscientemente. ¿Por qué? El contexto lo va a requerir. O sea, es algo de lo que no se puede zafar. Sí o sí va a aparecer. Entonces, enjoy en este caso es un verbo, ¿ok? Entonces me dice que si voy a utilizar el verbo enjoy, tengo que utilizar ing. Entonces utilizaré watch, por ejemplo. ¿Por qué se hace esto? Para evitar el choque de verbos. Entonces yo dijera, I enjoy watch. Está mal, está totalmente mal porque mis verbos chocan. So, I prefer, vamos a volver a tocar el verbo prefer. I prefer, right? My goodness. Okay, I prefer, we're going to erase it because it looks like an N. I prefer it to watch. Okay, I prefer to watch. In this case, I'm using the infinitive, right? So as I can see, okay, okay, I notice that. So then I'm using the verb prefer. So I have the option to use it with the ing form or with the infinitive, okay? So then I can use whatever I want, but it needs to be in its correct form, okay? With the gerund, in this case, with the infinitive, okay? So we have to take care in that part.
Okay.
So what else would say? Yes, that will be right. Or for example, if I'm going to use the verb require. Okay, so then I know that I'm going to need another verb, right? So in this case, I'm going to choose the verb lift. Okay, the verb lift require this job requires lift heavy equipment. There is a mistake here, right? I choke the verbs, right? There is a partial verb. So then I'm going to use the ing. Why? Because the rule says me, right? When I have require, then I have to use the ing form of the verb. Requires lifting. This job requires lifting heavy equipment. Or how about quit? Okay, when I have quit, then I know that I have to, for example, take it. We're going to take the verb. Oh, I already said the answer. Take. Okay, quit and take. Okay, so then because I use quit, because the rule says that if I'm going to use quit, the next verb needs to be in the gerund. Learned, for example, the verb learn. Okay, learned. I'm going to use interact. It is also a verb, interact. So I learned to, okay, because if I have to use learn, the verb, then the next verb needs to be with the infinitive. Okay, and the same happens with agree, need, stop, what else? And more verbs that we can find, okay? Acknowledge, adore, advise, with the gerund, right? Or the infinitive be, begin, right? I began working here, for example. I began working here 1 month ago. 1 month ago, I mean, okay? So you have many ways to conjugate, but you have to take care of the how could be, right? How could be? You need to know the list of these verbs, okay?
Okay. So I have a big question about the number 2 and number 3, because the only that stay is pay, but I'm 80% that the other are good. So except the two. So if we suppose that meet entering the tree, so I think I rather meeting him a visit. I rather it's only the base form, and so it's meet. I think I would rather meet him a visit. So, but the other it's pay, and the other sentence doesn't fit with pay.
Okay. Would you like to try? Okay, this is okay. Why? Or let's see the answers. Okay.
Okay.
Fastly. And okay. All right. So yes, it was work was in number 3. Are you going to call Frank? I think I'd rather. Oh, what? What? No, this is incorrect. Okay, it was number 3. Pay him a visit. Okay, are you going to call Frank? I think I'd rather pay him a visit, right? Imagine that maybe it is linked with the video, right? Because of the context. And okay, let me see. I think rather, well, in this case, yes, video, right? Because the only context for it, right? How can we change this context? Oh, okay. All right, yes. Are you going to call Frank? I think I'd rather make him a visit, right? It's similar. Este verbo pay, right? Si bien puede ser, tiene otro sinónimo, okay.
Yeah.
También puede ser otro significado de pay, es hacer, ¿ok? Hacer una visita y puede ser un sinónimo, ¿ok? Entonces, pay no es solo pagar. Yes, that's the context for it. ¿Ok?
Okay.
Make him a visit. Son extraños. No preferimos utilizar el pay. No, it sounds several. Make him a visit. It sounds like an order, like no.
Yeah, to
right?
to have an account.
Yes. So we have to take care. But that could be the concept. Maybe that's the reason why you got confused. Okay, because of the verb pay. We learned that it only has one meaning, right? But no, it also means to in this context to this is incorrect, but to make visit, to make him visit. Okay, or we can also say to visit him. That's okay. I think I prefer visit him. That's all. Or I think I'd rather pay him a visit. And the other one was work.
Yeah, the other was working, I think we put. So or to work in the weekend. So it was wrong because it's our rather. Yeah.
Yes, in this case, let's see. We have some exercises. Okay, where it has the verb prefer. When you have the verb prefer, again, you have the option to say meeting or to meet. That's all.
Okay.
To stay, staying. To watch, watching. To hear, hearing. Okay, and both are okay. But if we have rather, it means the base form. There is no way. Rather try on. Rather pay. Rather not work. Okay, notice this negative, rather not work. As I explained you before, when we're going to use a negative, okay, it means that it needs to be placed, between the rather and the verb in its base form, okay? Rather not work, okay? It's incorrect if I'm going to say rather going, no, rather working, no. So you have to follow the base form of the verb with rather. Do you get it?
Yeah, I get it. I didn't take care about it rather not. So if I really don't see the I would rather only, I put other verb changes. So yeah, I have to take care more about this.
Yes, it's as we have many ways to construct it, we also need to take care of the structure because of that, right? For that, I mean.
Yeah.
So yes. Do you have maybe another question?
No, miss, it's okay.
All right, that was great. So please, that will be everything for today. We already finished the lesson. Please don't forget that you have to see if your new account works. As soon as it works, you are going to send me a message, right? So then I'm going to assign you the homework, okay?
Okay. What will the due date about the assignment homework?
I'm not until Sunday, but I hope you can confirm if your new account works. So then I'm going to assign you as soon as possible, right?
Okay. Sunday.
Okay. Yes, it's going to be until Sunday, right? So when it's or maybe we can discuss that, right? But the first thing before to give the due date, we need to see if your new account works. Okay.
Okay, perfect. Miss, I have some question about the book, the material. So I had the rented material and they told me that how to pay the second material, but I'm not sure if the account of person was will be lost, and they give me more other account in order to take care about what was the content, and I had to take some screens about that. So I have to take care about this. So I will lose the first material and then continue with the second material. Or it's only the other permission about the continue the person.
You mean if you're going to lose your person, your material from person?
No, if I won't be able to see the person, the first material in person. So I'm not sure if I will going to change the material. So in order, I don't know. Now we are taking the first book, and I have to pay for the second material, and the second material it's other book. So other access, and the other access. So I will lose the access of the first book.
Oh no, you're not going to lose it. You're going to be able to join to the Pearson material because you paid for it.
Okay, perfect, miss.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So don't worry. Whatever ways I'm going to ask, but no, I don't think so, right? Because you already paid, so you're going to say with your account, and then so you can join the times you want. Okay.
Okay. Perfect, miss.
All right. Thank you, Rosario. So thank you for your attention and have a great night. I'm gonna see you on
Friday.
Friday.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.